So this weekend in the Premier League, we've got some exciting games lined up for us. And one in particular stands out, and that's the London derby between Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United. West Ham United haven't started the season so well. Tottenham on their part, they've been here and there, but yet somehow they are sitting in ninth. After the first few weeks of the season, they looked that they were going to be one of the teams to challenge, for the top four. But now they are sitting in ninth position after 7 games played already this season. Let me quickly run through the fixtures for this weekend, and it starts off with that game at 12:30 launch hour kickoff on Saturday. Tottenham versus West Ham United. Fulham will be at home to Aston Villa. Ipswich Town will take on Everton. Manchester United versus Brentford. Newcastle versus Brighton. Southampton will take on Leicester City. Bournemouth will be at home to Arsenal. Manchester City travel to Wolves, while Liverpool will be at home to Chelsea. Another cracker this weekend. And then Nottingham Forest will take on Crystal Palace. Guys, let's start off from that game. Liverpool versus Chelsea. Liverpool are absolutely flying this season. Nobody saw the team starting this well under Arne Slot. I thought that it was going to be a time to bed Arne Slot in, let him gradually change the team to what he wants and all of that. But somehow he didn't do any signing. But at the moment, they are top of the Premier League table. They are home to a Chelsea side that looks to be finding her form lately. The manager seems to have found a way to, play the players and get the best out of the team. And I'm going to start with you, Eddie, on this one. Liverpool, Chelsea. What can we expect from this game? What are the key battles, and where do you think this game will swing?
These are two teams that I don't think anyone would have expected that they would be where they are currently right now in the table. Liverpool with Klopp leaving, you thought this was going to be a rebuilding season for Liverpool. They had all the good players still there. There was no one added to the squad. So you knew there was quality, but you were not quite sure whether they're going to hit the ground running. Most times, new managers come in and they need time to get used to the Premier League, tweak their tactics and things like that. And you can see that, Liverpool have already seemed like they've clicked now. There might be a question that is asked, have they benefited from a soft schedule, to start the season? And this is their real test. As they always say, the real first test for Liverpool comes now playing Chelsea. Chelsea, a squad that seemed to be finding an identity with their young and exciting players. Cole Palmer will be very important in this game, right? It's going to be how, Liverpool, control what Cole Palmer's influence on the pitch will look like. And one guy for Liverpool, I think that will be crucial to this is Gravenberch, right? He's been a revelation in the middle of the pack, for Liverpool this season. And I think that what he does, to Cole Palmer might make the difference between being able to allow Cole Palmer add devastation towards Liverpool, or allow Liverpool to free the likes of Luis Diaz, and Salah. And for me, for Liverpool, definitely Trent looks like he's coming back to his best. Looks like he's coming back, to the trend that we knew. And I think that's going to be that part of the pitch is going to be very important, because Slot loves the fact that he can possess the ball, but then he can quickly transition and hit you. Now, Chelsea play a high line, as well. So it might be interesting to see how Liverpool takes advantage of that. So for me, key players are Cole Palmer, Gravenberch, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. It depends on who gets to get their upper hand on their opposition in that game will determine how that game will go. For me, I see that game, and I think Chelsea going to Liverpool, I would not be surprised if Chelsea win this game. I would not be surprised. I think that they have the weapons to cause real damage to Liverpool. and I'm going to lean towards Chelsea to win this one 2-1.
Femi, Eddie is leaning towards Chelsea winning this one. Remember, Chelsea have not won a game against Liverpool in their last 6 attempts. The last time they actually won against Liverpool was in 2021, right? That's how, but even though the last 6, about 4 of them, or 3 or 4 of them, ended in a draw, But Liverpool seems to have found a way. They found a number over Chelsea in recent years. Do you see it as Eddie seen it, or do you think Chelsea have what it takes to steal something from that game?
I would honestly have said I'm seeing it the way Eddie has seen it, but I have a big but. I think Cucurella is shown himself to be very good for Chelsea, but sadly he's suspended in this game. And then West Fofana as well, who is slightly coming to the team and starting to show why they paid 70 million for him, is also suspended. So looking at that Liverpool front line, they've got 6 players who can all play amazing football. I mean, Salah will score goals. Gakpo will score goals. Nunes will miss some. He will score some blinders. It's almost like you don't know what kind of Nunes is going to turn up. Jota is always a problem. So if you look at all those players, and there's so, I mean, if I went on and on, we could probably just continue naming them. Luis Diaz has been scoring goals this season, probably the highest goal scorer, if I'm correct. So overall, I think that firepower, given Chelsea's lack of, I mean, I know Liverpool can play at that left back, but it's not going to bring the same bite and urgency that Cucurella would have brought against Salah. So that's where my slight concern is. But hopefully, if Chelsea can find that same form that they found from the start of the season, and they can solve that problem. We were talking before the start of this show, Kali, about Odegaard, isn't it? The fluency of the Arsenal team, the creativity. And we recognize that, yes, the team is doing well. They're effective in their passing. They're moving it around. But that creativity is just slightly lacking in my own book. So that's my genuine worry that when Liverpool go forward, can Chelsea stop them? Now, the other way, Liverpool have a problem as well. Kelleher was meant to step in for Becker the last game, but he didn't. It was Yaros that was in goal. So, and Becker is definitely injured now. He's not going to be in that game. So whether it's Kelleher or the other one, I don't know if any of them would have the confidence to stop Nicholas Jackson scoring or Cole Palmer scoring. And then we know Jadon Sancho is already setting up assists nearly every game now. So it's going to be one for the purists, I believe, because at Anfield, Liverpool will go to find goals. Then Chelsea will want to play them and catch them on the counter. They've got quick players around the pitch to play. So I'll be very interested to see how this turns up. I think it's just a matter of which defense can actually do better in the absence of the key personnel that should have been in that game. And that's a difficult one to call. So overall, I'll probably say Liverpool have the edge slightly because they've got a good set of 2 goalkeepers that I think can deputize for Becker very well. And Chelsea probably don't have the same bite at the back without Cucurella. So I'll probably give it to Liverpool, a 2-1 victory, Kali, for Liverpool.
All right. So, like Eddie pointed out, it's going to be the first real test for Liverpool. But then you can't ignore how well they've played. Gravenberch has been absolutely immense for them, since the start of the season. But then you can't also look away from Trent. Trent has actually is the leader they need in the absence of a lot of the experienced players, performing at the top level. I have a problem with that defense, Liverpool defense. They look like one that can concede goals. When very intelligent an intelligent strike force come against them. But in the absence of Festus, let me just quickly put out some match facts in this one. Liverpool are unbeaten in their last 6 Premier League meetings with Chelsea, even though 5 of these have ended in a draw. Right? They've actually only won 1 of that. Chelsea have won just 1 of their last 9 Premier League away games against Liverpool. They've drawn 5 and lost 3, and that's why I'm thinking a draw is written all over this game, right? So I'm going to be tipping my heart for a draw in this game, Liverpool Chelsea, and I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw, for this one, right? Quickly, guys, let's go to our next game of the weekend, and we're going to be talking about the London Derby. Femi, I'm starting with you on this one. West Ham started not very, very brightly, but they started picking some results here and there. Tottenham Hotspur started so well, but all of a sudden, they look like they can be beaten. It looks like the manager just wants the team to go gung-ho, run at everybody, and they get punished all the time. At least you've seen them concede some kind of goals that, maybe at this level they shouldn't be conceding when you have the likes of Poran, Romero, and the rest of them at the back. So Tottenham versus West Ham for you, Femi. What can we look forward to?
I mean, the early kickoff, 12:30 in front of TNT Sports cameras. It's going to be an exciting game. And again, I always look at the personnel and that is available because I think football are won by moments, by stars, people who know what they're doing and can turn a game on its head. And we've seen that happen several times in games. We talked about Messi and Ronaldo. They will always win you games. We talk about Saka's effectiveness. That's why he's undroppable, both for England and for Arsenal. So you got players who can do the job. I like the fact that most of the players that can do the job are available. Spurs are missing Son, who is just, of course, the best talent in terms of is the finest player in that team. But Solanke can actually genuinely deputize for him as a striker. And we know that Son doesn't really normally play up front if they have a good striker. Anyway, Richarlison was there last season, but his injury problems have made them go and spend all that money for Solanke because Richarlison he was at some point, and for a long time now, he's been Brazil's number 9. So it's not like he can't do the job. It's like Jesus is not, he can't be trusted to be available. So they've gone and spent that money on Solanke. So Solanke will be up front there and he can score goals. But Kulishevsky can do the job that you would expect Son to do. Or maybe, as we've seen in the last few weeks, Brennan Johnson has been absolutely brilliant. And then Maddison can play the pass. I think at home, Spurs would not have too many problems. West Ham, to their credit, have shown themselves to be capable when you think the chips are down. But I'm just concerned that they're not really, really, really very consistent this season. They've had really poor results. So I'm not going to just think out of the blues they will just turn up against Spurs and win. Except the incredible Aponskali, I'm going to have to give it to Spurs. I'm sorry. And I think it will probably be a fine, comfortable victory for Spurs. 3-1, the minimum scoreline, Kali.
Eddie, X factors, key battles.
I love Spurs in this game, but don't sleep on the likes of Jared Bowen for West Ham. But I like what you've got to respect Angie, right? And very often you see a coach coming to the Premier League and then they bow to the pressure of the Premier League, and he doesn't always say the right things, but you've got to admire him for understanding exactly how he wants to play, and he's determined to die on that hill, and he's going to get results. Sometimes they're not going to go his way, but what you can see emerging is the way that Spurs want to play. They want to entertain, they want to be fast, they want to score goals, and they want to make sure that they put pressure on the opposition. You see the way that they press, right? They're now becoming what Liverpool's club used to be, pressing from the front. You see the likes of Son, likes of Maddison, pressing to try and cause errors in the furthest part of the pitch away from them. And I think that this West Ham, have errors in them. The pace of Spurs, Brendan Johnson can't seem to stop scoring, right now for Spurs, even scored in the international game as well. I expect him to continue his fine form against West Ham. I think for me, the key battles really is Madison's Son, and Brennan Johnson. That three for Spurs is going to be what's going to make the difference in this game. I mean, West Ham, we're still yet to see their forward line actually click, right? We're still yet to see them, play in a way that looks like they are always going to score goals. Right now, it just depends on how they start the game, right? We've got an aging Antonio, in the game. Paqueta, he's decent, but he does a lot of his work, a bit like Gabriel Jesus, does a lot of his work, outside. The one player for West Ham that can cause problems is Kudos. I look at that, I look at him, and I think he's got the ability to trouble the pace, but the defense, right? You've got to look at Spurs. Van de Ven right now is looking really, really good, in that defense. And then you've got Udogie, who constantly creates, mismatches for whoever he plays on that side. So I just look at the weapons that, Spurs have, and I think they have more than enough to take this. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 victory for Spurs in this game.
Mm. Well, Tottenham Hotspur, on their day, they're a very exciting team to watch. And kudos to Ange Postecoglou with the way he's molded the team. Even though we still see a lot of naivety and deficiencies in the team, but you can see what he's trying to do with the team. He's trying to build something exciting, expansive. Maddison is beginning to come into his own more and more. He's becoming more influential in the team. Son is going to be a big miss, but then Dominic Solanke has started getting in among the goals, so Dominic can get the goals for me. Now, West Ham, I worry for West Ham. I worry for West Ham. I worry for the problems they've had both on and off the pitch. They've had players who have been involved in all kinds of controversial stories here and there. But then on the pitch itself, they are not. Yeah, you ask yourself, is the manager, has he shown in the play style or whatever style the team is putting out there that he has a clear pattern that he wants this team to play? I can't see it. I've not seen it. They beat Ipswich 4-1 the last time out, and you could see a lot of individual brilliance coming to play in that. And that's why I think Tottenham Hotspur will take over the midfield against West Ham, and they will totally dominate West Ham. And if that happens, definitely you see goals coming in. I'm expecting Dominic Solanke to score in this one. Let me just quickly bring some facts from this game. Now, Tottenham have only won more Premier League games against Everton and Manchester City than they have versus West Ham. So West Ham is one of those teams they love to play against because they seem to get a result. But let's not forget that this fixture last season, West Ham came from a goal down to win that 1-2-1. Last season, West Ham over the 2 legs, they got 4 points of Tottenham Hotspur. So if anything has to go psychological, this might just play in the head of the manager at the helm now. Angie was the one there, last season when this happened. So that might just play into how he sets up the team, into the formation. But then we know him, he's never going to be cautious. He's never going to sit back. He's going to get his team to go all out to play. But I'm expecting a win for Tottenham Hotspur in this one. West Ham have never done a back-to-back away win against Tottenham Hotspur, so I don't see that happening this time. I think Tottenham will win this one 2-1. Yeah, Tottenham will win this one 2-1. Our final game to talk about has to be Brentford away to Manchester United. Brentford in 2 games have scored the quickest goals in the very early goals in the Premier League. Mbeumo is enjoying himself. Wissa is having a good time, but Mbeumo has become the man in that team in the absence of what's his name now, the striker that has left, Ivan Toney, right? They go up against the Manchester United side that they can be good today and be absolutely horrible tomorrow. The manager has been given more time to do his best to bring this team out of whatever they are, but it doesn't look like he knows his first 11. He keeps chopping and changing, trying this, trying that. 1 minute he wants to bench Rashford, the next minute he thinks Rashford must start. He doesn't know his first 11, and that's one area that I have a problem with Manchester United. And I'm going to start this off by saying that I think Brentford will get a result against Manchester United. I think it's going to end in a 1-1 draw. I think it's going to end. Femi, I don't know what you think about this one. Manchester United and Brentford.
Kali, you're very kind to Man United, thinking Brentford will go there and just get a point. I think that tells you exactly where my thoughts are, without missing words. I mean, I know they're missing Visa at the minute, but Mbeumo can score from any part of the pitch, especially if it's a volley. So altogether, I think Man United don't know what they're doing yet. Yes, the manager is getting the support of the club, but who is there? I mean, Mazraoui, who was their shining light at right back, he's now had a heart operation and is not going to be available. So are they going to shift Lindelof to that position like they did in the last game? I'm not sure. Uh, Maybe Diogo Dalot will go there, and then who are they going to put at left? Shaw is not available, and Tyrone Malasha is not available. Maybe Johnny Evans is going to go to left back. I'm not sure. So, or maybe Lindelof at left back. So, overall, for me, they still have a lot of problems. Man United, they really have a lot of problems. Maguire as well. He's got a knock. Maybe he will recover in time for the game, but he's not going to be their savior, is he? Garnacho, Kobe Mainu, both of them still have a little bit of a question mark about them. Even Manuel Ugarte has got a muscle injury as well. So when the players are not fit, like and firing up front, Zirkzee scored that freakish fluky goal at the start. Hasn't done anything since then. Honestly, Højlund, nobody's really putting any faith in him to score goals for them. Anthony is on the bench. They're looking to ship him out in January on loan. So is that a team that really, really inspires confidence, Kali? I don't think so. So even though they're the home team, I'll definitely honestly give this to Brentford. Brentford know what they're doing. They're well coached by Frank and Thomas Frank. I mean, and I think the pressure of Old Trafford is getting too big for Man United to handle at the minute. They've just let Sir Alex Ferguson go from his £2 million a year ambassadorial role. So they're cutting costs. They're saying there was nothing really big in there. It was just a review of this thing, and the man wanted to leave. We all know that's not true. The facts are out. So it's not plain sailing at Old Trafford at the minute. If you're a Man United fan, I'm sorry, and I really feel sorry for you at the minute. It's not going to get better this weekend, uh, especially when it's 3 o'clock kickoff. The players know the Sky Sports cameras are not going to be in front of them, so there's no real pressure on them to perform. Well, maybe Casemiro might turn into a god or something. I don't know what's going to happen. Frankly, Kali, I'll just say 3-1 to Brentford. It's going to be an absolute disgrace at Old Trafford this time around. I hope it doesn't happen for the sake of my lovely brother and friends, because my blood brother is a Man United fan. I've got so many of them who are Man United fans. But they're the banter club at the minute, Kali. That's the problem.
Eddie, what do you think?
Um, Brentford has circled this game before the international break, and they would have been looking forward to this matchup. And Brentford has done something ridiculous this season, where they keep scoring in the first minute. I don't think they'll be stopping at Old Trafford. I think they're gonna put a few goals in. I look at that United team and I really worry for their defense. Harry Maguire, is not gonna be fit for the game. You're most likely gonna have to play, Martinez, Delete, Dallo, there. And I look at these defenders and I'm thinking, is there any of those that Brentford will be worried about? And going the other way, I'm sure maybe he's going to play, but you're going to have Casemiro coming. We know that Casemiro has not exactly been his best, but in a one-off game, he's still quality, right? So he can potentially do something, but you've got to question whether they have the legs in the midfield. Bruno Fernandes will be crucial for Manchester United in this game. If they're going to do anything good, it's going to come through him, right? Because I'm not quite sure Højlund is quite there. He's capable of scoring a goal here and there, but I think that the firepower that Brentford have will really be too much for Manchester United. So I don't know. I can't back Manchester United in this game. I think they're capable of scoring a goal, but I'm afraid there's going to be pressure on Ten Hag after this game. I'm going to go with a 3-1 victory to Brentford because I just cannot see any other way how Manchester United don't how they avoid a defeat in this game. I've been looking at it, trying to see how they can avoid it, and I just can't see it.
Well, you guys are not taking it easy on United. You don't even have any faith in Ten Hag at all. But it's all right. It's all right. Guys, before we run off, let's quickly do our fantasy tips. 2 to have and 2 to captain. Eddie, starting with you first. 2 players you want in your team this weekend, and who are you captaining?
I think Ollie Watkins would be ready to go. I think he would want to show that, he can offer a lot more. When you have an international break the way that he should have started that first game. He didn't. I think you want to have Ollie Watkins, in your squad. And I don't know if Saka is going to play. I don't know what the injury status is. He's always my regular, to have. But I think I'm going to go with Cole Palmer, in this fixture. So Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins in your team. And I will captain Cole Palmer, even though he's playing at Anfield.
Femi.
I'm not too sure what Eddie is thinking. Because yes, you look. I normally look at the difficulty of the match, and when I look at Man City's game away at Wolves, it doesn't look like the most difficult game, does it, for Man City? And with Haaland, there, it's just a straightforward Haaland as captain this weekend, honestly, because he's going to score at Wolves. Wolves will not keep a clean sheet against Man City. So, and there are no better players that will score goals in that game. Away at Bournemouth, I know Saka limped up for England. I will definitely still put him there. Even if it's not all plain sailing, it will get you a cross or an assist or maybe finish up the game himself. So maybe Saka as the second person. I'm tempted with Spurs at home, but I don't know who's going to score for Spurs. Sri Lanka has been in and among the goals of late, but maybe I can't pick between Sri Lanka and Saka, but Haaland to captain definitely. Maybe I'll just, as an Arsenal fan, I'll recommend Saka. He's too reliable and he's been an absolutely brilliant form this season. So yeah, Haaland and Saka, Haaland to captain.
This season definitely. This weekend. Haaland. I'm captaining Haaland, so I'm starting with that. Wolverhampton Wanderers in the first 7 games of the season, they've considered, I think, over 17 goals already. I know they considered 6 against Chelsea. They considered 5. They've considered 1-5 somewhere. They've considered 6 somewhere. They've considered against Liverpool as well. They considered about 3 or so. So they've just been shipping in goals for fun. And then Haaland loves teams like that because he's just going to enjoy himself. So our captain Haaland this weekend, but you must have Mbeumo and Saka in your team. Mbeumo, I feel like will score against United, and I think Saka will play. I just think Saka will play. And if Saka plays against Bournemouth, he's going to have a good time. So those are my 2 to have and my captain. That's about all, guys. That's about all for today on Game On, the one-stop shop for the English Premier League. We're going to be coming your way pretty soon, but remember, guys, help us share this. Follow us, click on the subscribe button. Share this with your friends, your neighbors, your family, your circle of friends. And, let's just keep propagating this and let's continue to grow the channel. And don't forget, your comments are very important to us. Send in your comments. Give us advice on what you think we should add to the show, what can make it better, and we'll be grateful for it. Thank you very much. From the guys, Eddie?
Yeah, it's been a good one, guys. First of all, thank you all for the love. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button as well, and put the comments below. Let's know what you like. Do you agree? What we said. You agree with the predictions? Who do you think is gonna come on top in the games? And we'll see you. Whatever you do, stay safe and have your game on.
Femi.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an absolutely brilliant show. We've talked about Tuchel, we've talked about United as always, Arsenal, Man City. We've had a great chat about what's going to happen with Chelsea at Liverpool. It's just a pleasure to talk football with you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed every minute of it as we rightly have. And then it's the weekend, whoever you're supporting. I hope you have a great weekend. There are not many Bournemouth fans, so I'm not going to be worried about Arsenal. My United fans, Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, I hope you have a lovely weekend. Well, just as a fan of football, we hope you just enjoy being with us. As we always say, please like, subscribe, And of course, share this wonderful, wonderful platform with as many of your friends. Our channel is just for you, really. We do it for you, and you can see it's just game on. So have a great, great sporting weekend. And I'm sure we'll see you again next week, isn't it, Kali?
All right, guys. Later. Thanks. Good Lord.
Yeah.
You can end the recording now. God is too long.